Welcome again to Joe's Stunner Boxing. Let's do something a little light-hearted now, okay? This is kind of bit of a daft little story that someone once told me, and I think I've always thought actually that it's kind of pertinent to boxing, combat sports in general, okay? So I'll tell you this silly little story. Bear with me, okay? I want you to imagine there's a Wild West town, you know, dusty place, saloon, you know, whorehouse, some little shacks where people live. Got the sheriff there, you know. And this guy runs into the town. Where's the sheriff? Where's the sheriff? He finds the sheriff, goes over to the jailhouse. Sheriff says, yeah. He says, I've just heard, Sheriff, Big Jake's coming into town. The sheriff goes, tell everyone, quick, everyone, Big Jake's coming into town. People are panicking and running, you know, hammering slats of wood crookedly across windows. The chickens are running back into the coop, you know, and people, anyway. So after 10 minutes of this chaos, of this panic, silence in the town, the whistling wind, the odd, you know, what are those little things called, those little dust ball things that, you know, straw, you know, so it's deserted basically. In the distance, there's this rumbling sound and this huge dust cloud, and gradually the dust cloud gets closer and closer and closer, and eventually you can see that it's this big, enormous geezer. I mean, really, really, really big, on top of this big bull, the biggest bull you've ever seen, and he's wrestling it, he's holding on to the horns, and you know, and gradually it's closer and closer until it pulls into the town, comes to a sort of screeching halt. The dust settles, the enormous geezer gets off it, kills the bull by snapping its neck with his bare hands, and everyone's sort of looking out of the between the slats and of wood, and you know, from where they're hiding. Oh my God, you know. Anyway, he dusts himself down, this big bloke. He sees the saloon. He goes into the saloon, flicks the swing doors open. They come off the hinges. He walks up to the barman, cleaning the glass. All the other patrons, the ones that didn't have anywhere to go, they're sort of cowering in the corner and under the tables. He goes up. Whiskey. The barman, yes sir, here's your whiskey. Not a glass, I want the bottle. Guy gives him a bottle of whiskey. Necks it back in one hit. No, what? Another one. Gives him another bottle of whiskey. And after he's down 4 or 5 of these, he says, where's the girls? Upstairs, sir, upstairs. So this big behemoth of a guy walks up the stairs, gets with, you know, 10 of these ladies of the night, shall we say. Does a lot of them. As he's coming downstairs, pulling his huge trousers back on, pants, if you want the American translation. And as he's coming downstairs, the barman says to him, do you want another whiskey, sir? Another bottle of whiskey? He goes, no, I'm leaving. And the barman says, what do you mean? What do you mean you're leaving already? The guy says, yeah, you don't think I'm staying around here, do you? Big Jake's coming into town. All right, yeah, it's a shit story, right? It's a daft story, it's a daft joke. But that's always stuck in my mind for one reason, okay? And that's because it should be remembered by every boxer that there is always someone bigger than you. There's always someone more powerful. There's always someone who's more intimidating than you, all right? And no one is infallible. I mean, I go back to the days of when I followed Mike Tyson's career from start to finish. When he came on the scene, he looked just as damn near unbeatable as anyone ever has done. But of course, we know he wasn't unbeatable. Roy Jones was another one. Absolutely convinced that Roy Jones was untouchable. Roy Jones is probably the most flawless. Is anyone really flawless? Near as damn it flawless that I've ever seen in my life. And at his peak, he was just a stunning guy. I mean, absolutely stunning. Just the athleticism, the things he could do in that boxing ring. You found yourself saying, how would he do against Archie Moore? How would he do against Bob Foster? How would he do against S.R. Charles? You know, you were ranking him that highly, even though his career was still going. It's always dodgy doing that, ranking someone historically as you're watching their career unfold. But of course he lost. He ended up losing 10 times in his whole career. There is always someone bigger than you. There's always someone better than you. But you can take that on the surface of it appears to be a depressing thought. And you can use it to your advantage, because you can use that as motivation to run that extra mile, to lift that extra weight, to do that extra drill, whatever it is, and get yourself absolutely maximized in terms of conditioning and talent, to work on all your skills. Because then, even if you do meet someone who's maybe bigger and stronger than you, if your skills are absolutely honed, you might be able to beat them. Now, they do say that a good little one will never beat a good big one, which for the most part is true, but it's not always the case. I mean, I think an equally true adage would be that a brilliant small guy can beat a good bigger guy. And I think we've seen that throughout history. But I just wanted to share that with you. No fighter is infallible. These guys and girls may seem, inhuman to us, or superhuman, I should say. But they're not. They're really not. Anyone can be beaten, and they have been beaten. And a handful of people have retired undefeated. It's a hell of an achievement. But even them, with I think a lot of them, they perhaps were in an era which wasn't the best of eras, or they perhaps navigated their way through potential opponents, in a rather crafty way to, maximize the money in terms of the risk and so on, or minimize the risk. But yeah, no one's infallible, no one's unbeatable. So I just thought I'd share that with you, just as a little video, just because I thought it was a funny story, and it bears repeating. And if you're a young fighter, live the life, don't cut corners. All right. Okay. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the like button, and spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. I've got to go now. Big Jake's coming into town.